I'm from Abia State. I must join my colleagues in commending the mover of this motion. But for my colleagues who were here in the 6th Assembly, they will recall that I had brought a bill against the proliferation of small arms and light weapons. Mr. Speaker, sir, the problem of proliferation of small arms and light weapons has been in Nigeria and has been festering since the wars in Liberia and in Sierra Leone. After those wars, Mr. Speaker, sir, arms found their way into Nigeria through the ports, through the borders, and especially through the unmanned, unknown, illegal routes into our country. Mr. Speaker, there was need, it was based on that there was the cry that Nigeria was becoming a country of destination as well as a country of source for small arms and light weapons. It was based on this as well, Mr. Speaker, sir, that the United Nations felt that there was a need to come up with the United Nations program of action against the proliferation of small arms and light weapons. Mr. Speaker, while I commend the mover of the motion, and he speaks to the Nigerian customs, I think that the problems of proliferation of small arms and light weapons is more widespread, is more critical, and is more hydra-headed than the ones that have been intercepted at the ports. Mr. Speaker, I will speak, of course, about the fact that with the success that the world has recorded in places like Syria as well as in Iraq, there is going to be a lot of returnee jihadists who are going to come back with their monies and with their arms. Mr. Speaker, the northeast of this country has been a battle zone. The problem, of course, is that we have not demilitarized that region since after the war, and so it has also led to the proliferation of small arms and light weapons. Mr. Speaker, but let me speak institutionally about what Nigeria as a country was supposed to have done that we have not done. And Mr. Speaker, when they set up the program of action, ECOWAS decided that all its member states should domesticate the treaty on the proliferation of small arms and light weapons. All the ECOWAS states domesticated it except Nigeria. So while all the other countries have NATCOMs, commissions against the proliferation of small arms and light weapons, Nigeria only has a committee. And it is because we have a committee and we are not on the same level as the other countries that we're unable to engage with them and speak about the flow of these arms from other countries. Mr. Speaker, my concern is that while we must call the customs, commend them for what they have done and call the customs, Mr. Speaker, I think that as a parliament, and I always say that when there's a problem, we must find a parliamentary solution to the problem. I think that the parliamentary solution to this problem, at the very least, would be to domesticate the treaty on the proliferation of small arms and light weapons. Once Nigeria shows that commitment, then we'll be able to engage with other countries and speak about it institutionally about it. Furthermore, Mr. Speaker, sir, while I commend them for the ports, the basic problem are the unmanned borders. Many motions have come to the floor of this House about illegal routes out of Nigeria and the inability to man those routes. Mr. Speaker, I think we need to bring that up again because most of the arms that are coming back to Nigeria, that are coming back from the Boko Haram fighters, from the ISIS and from Al-Qaeda are not coming in from the ports. So this motion is good because it points to the proliferation of small arms and light weapons. It raises the awareness. However, I want to say that unless we come up with a solution that is more widespread, that is more critical, that speaks to institutional, personal, the customs, manning of the borders, heavy policing, demilitarization of the military zones, Mr. Speaker, we may just only be scratching the surface. I therefore ask, like Honorable Kiruka has said, that we declare a state of emergency. Let us realize just how important this issue is. Let us raise the bar a little. Let's not just put a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. Let us bow down and look at this matter in a way, because it affects us. It is instrumental to rise in crime and conflict, and of course the fact that for every day that those arms remain in the public glare, not one of us is safe. So I'd like to thank the mover of this motion, and I hope, as I said, that as a matter of urgency, that the Attorney General forwards to us the Treaty on the Proliferation of Small Arms and Light Weapons Commission, for in the very least for us to domesticate. Thank you.